to On Sprue Review. My name is Violet Sun, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Primaris Company Champion, a single model for the Space Marines faction of Warhammer 40,000 by Games Workshop. This is a special limited edition miniature. This one's going to be available at various Games Workshop events through 2022. This one was picked up from Warhammer World by my good friend Arbiter Ian. If you haven't come across Arbiter Ian's stuff yet, he does some really fantastic lore videos over on his YouTube channel, and there's also Tale of Four Gamer series, which I am one of the members of. If you're not following him yet, I really suggest going and having a look at his channel. It's very good stuff. With that said, let's have a little look at the box for the Primaris Company Champion. Now this is kind of what we've seen before from these commemorative series boxes. Nice banner, the kind of usual descriptive text and logos that you'll see for a Warhammer 40,000 miniature, and the Warhammer logo. Really nice, really nicely painted miniature from the studio guys. It could really, I know they're trying to keep the miniature to the scale of how big it is, but it does leave this box with a really big blank area around it. Backside the box has some more views of the fantastically painted miniature, really showing off the details of the kit. But again, kind of very, very plain background. And that's about it on the box. There's not a lot to say about it. It's quite a simple fare. And as I'm sure anyone who's watched this channel that's seen me review a box like this, I'm not a fan. It's pretty boring. Obviously these are only on sale for 1 year, and they're not going to produce a huge number of them, but it feels like not a lot of effort goes into making these special. It's the same sort of background as we've seen for a couple of years, and but let's not dwell on that, because the box is going to probably end up getting chucked in the recycling pretty quickly for most people. Let's have a look what's inside. And here we have the contents of the box. First of all, an instruction booklet, always handy for getting the parts together correctly. A single little sprue containing all the parts for this model. 40mm base to stand him on. Unfortunately, this did come with one of these plasticky trays that does stop the sprue knocking about in the box, but just seems to be unnecessary packaging. The box could have been this size, or this sprue could have been put into a blister pack, and then you'd only have, about this amount of plastic, but then you don't have the cardboard. Either way, still not a fan of these. Get rid of them. With my environmental rant for the video out of the way, let's have a look at the instructions for this mini. Outside cover of the instruction booklet is mostly warnings, but that's fine. I don't think many people actually do read the warnings, but once you've read one set of instructions warnings, you've kind of read them all. These are full colour throughout and really nicely positioned. The model's always sort of rotated around so you actually see what you're attaching to where. And they are very short. The actual parts of the instructions for putting this model together is only 2 pages. The model is only 8 pieces plus the base, so it's very, very simple. There are no sort of like alternative heads or anything with this model. It's just what you see is what you get. You do then get the rules for this model across many different languages. This model is kind of a bit weird in that there's no entry for it in the codex, so you do need these rules if you want to field it. But it is, as noted at the bottom, counted as part of the Legends series of rules, so not tournament legal, and you would it's generally best to check with your opponent if they're okay with facing Legends stuff. I've never had an opponent say no, they're usually less good than taking main codex entries, so there's not really a good reason for people to say no, but it is best to ask. And on the back there is some more just pictures of the miniature. No painting instructions for this one, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice for people. I don't think you would pick this up as your first miniature, because you have to be at a kind of very specialised event to get hold of it in the first place. But I don't know, they've got plenty of painting instructions for Ultramarines in other boxes. I wouldn't imagine it would have taken much work to sort of copy and paste the suggested paints for an Ultramarine onto this page, but overall, not bad instructions. They're definitely sufficient to get the model together, which is the key thing. It would have been nice for the rules to be put out as a PDF so people can do conversions for this miniature. Maybe they'll end up in the next update of the Legends rules, because they do occasionally update the PDFs and put new stuff in. Yeah, not bad instructions. Let's have a look at the sprue, shall we? As I've already said, this model is only 8 parts, which I think might even be the lowest part count of any miniature I've reviewed so far. But it doesn't lack detail. It's just been very carefully put together. This first part here is most of the front of the miniature in one piece, but still has loads and loads of detail. These extra detailed pieces on the knee guards, really nice crisp detail, little rivets. It's a really nice draped tabard. This little relic on a bit of twine dangling from the Marine's belt. The kind of unique company champion styled chest plate with this little mini shield instead of what's normally a skull on the front of the model. Nice little purity seal running down the side. It's got a ton of detail on this one piece. Very impressive, very, very impressive. The back part of the model is really nicely done as well. It's not got quite as much fine detail as the front, but it's good to see so much of the model as one piece. Really makes it much simpler to put together. It does have a few somewhat unique details that you wouldn't find on a regular Primaris Space Marine. It has the extra pieces of armour that are sort of attached to the knee that protect the kind of softer bits around the side, around the back of the knee here. I think that sort of style has been seen before on the Primaris Sword Brethren for the Black Templars, but it's nice to see some somewhat unique detail for mainstream Space Marine armies. This model, of course, has a hero rock. One of his feet is built into this fallen piece of what looks like an Imperial Aquila. It's just pretty standard now. If you're a character model, you've got something to stand on. The shoulder pads are also a little bit unique. These extra armoured pieces that flare up from the shoulder guards to give extra protection. This sort of style, again, has already appeared on Black Templars, but it kind of works that the company champion would have some similar stylings to other melee-focused Primaris. And this arm kind of repeats the similar sort of detail that was on the knee, these extra flared extended pieces that help protect the joint. You only get one head on this model, but it is quite a distinctive one. This very squared off front chin on the helmet, and the laurel wreath is detailing that's been on company champion models for quite a long time, and looks perfectly in keeping here. And kind of the focus point of this model is the enormous power sword, big two-handed grip, really broad, thick blade, extra little bits of detail all over it. Really nicely done. A little bit different to the other power swords we've seen from other Primaris kits, and he's got a little charm hanging from one of his wrists. I think this is kind of an icon for the Indomitus Crusade, so kind of fitting to have that on this model. And the very last part of the kit is his backpack, which is a very slight variant on any we've seen. I don't think we've seen any Primaris backpack with just a little skull in the centre. I'm possibly wrong, and if I am, do correct me in the comments, but I think this is the first time we've seen one with just a little skull on it. So it's quite a simple model, as I say, really low parts count, but it fits the sprue really nicely. You couldn't really get much more on there. I have claimed that there's only one head, but I don't know if you'd get a second head on without it being a much bigger sprue. It's quite nice. I quite like this figure. Obviously I've had it picked up with a purpose, not just for being reviewed. It's going to go into my Ultramarines first company army. I've got a little force of veteran Ultramarines, and I've got the old metal battle standard of Macragge from the metal Terminator version of Marneus Calgar. It's a very nice model, and I do have the company champion that came with that, but he's not as nice a figure. I think I'm going to Ultramarine up this figure just a little bit, maybe give his helmet a crest or something, and yeah, paint him blue, paint him his first company, give him all of the white shoulder, give him all the white shoulder pad trims and such like, and yeah, make him a bit of a veteran. I think he'll look really nice in that force. If you've managed to pick up this model already from one of the events, either in the UK or US, I'd love to hear what you're planning on doing with this model, or what you've already done with this model. And equally, if you've watched this video and have come up with an idea to convert this model, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If this video has been helpful, please drop a like on it. If you want to see some more, there are plenty more videos on my channel already, and if you want to see new ones as they come out, subscribing is the best way to make sure that happens. Thank you very much for watching, and happy hobbying.